My wife, Alicia, has always had a bit of an absent-minded quality about her. Our meeting stemmed from an incident where Alicia dropped her large makeup pouch in a university lecture hall and didn't even realize it. I picked it up, and that's how I approached her for the first time. When Alicia, who is 2 years younger than me, was job hunting 2 years after I did, she would say with a puzzled look, "They dropped me because I don't seem to have a clear vision for my future."
Do you think I lack vision?
Well, you do seem a bit absent-minded sometimes. Alicia didn't seem to be too concerned about it, responding with a nonchalant "I see."
But that's just how I am. It can't be helped. I'm sure it'll sort itself out eventually.
I remember her smiling lightly at the thought. The economy has been in a slump since the bubble burst. Due to that environment, I felt like I was being crushed by anxiety while job hunting until I received an offer. So, it was strange and refreshing to see Alicia, who was living in that same environment, be so nonchalant. I remember being re-smitten with her, thinking, what a cool-headed woman she is. Once a year passed after Alicia, who was considerably late in finding a job compared to her classmates, began working. We got married. We didn't have a wedding ceremony at the time because we didn't have the money. I apologized to Alicia, saying, "You must have wanted to wear a wedding dress, didn't you?" To which she replied with a smile, "Well, I would have wanted to wear one if I could, but if I can't, it's not a big deal." Several years later, both Alicia and I worked earnestly, and Alicia quit her job when she became pregnant at the age of 31. Our daughter, Mia, was born, and our lengthy time as a couple became a life as a family of 3. By the time Mia turned 6, I had been promoted and our life had become more comfortable. I gathered up the courage and suggested to Alicia, "Hey, how about we have that wedding ceremony we couldn't have back then? I know it's late, but what do you think?"
A wedding ceremony, now at my age, in a wedding dress.
She seemed surprised, but there was no doubt that she was pleased. "Don't worry, you're still beautiful."
Really? Then maybe I will.
Alicia looked as beautiful as I thought she would in her bridal gown. We pledged our love once again in front of our parents, friends, and colleagues, and I was relieved that I was finally able to give Alicia the opportunity to wear a wedding dress. And 6 months later,
Tom, Mia got accepted.
our daughter, Mia, passed the entrance exam for a private elementary school. "Really, good job, Mia, you're amazing." As I tousled her hair, Mia let out a joyful squeal and looked up at me with a proud smile. "My lovely Mia, it was my idea to suggest private school for Mia. I wanted her to receive good education, work at a good company, marry a good man. I don't want to think about that just yet, but I wanted her to lead a good life. Paying the tuition fee for the private school, and having spent quite a bit on the previous wedding ceremony, my savings were starting to look a little thin. But I thought things would work out somehow. As time went by, I was optimistic that we would once again have financial leeway. My life was going smoothly. My career was progressing. I had a loving wife and child waiting for me at home. I was able to send my daughter to a private elementary school. It was about a month after my daughter started elementary school when a cloud started to cast over those days. Rumors of bankruptcy.
Yeah, you know our new CEO who took office at the end of last year, right? Apparently, he had some trouble with an executive at a client company, and they're likely to terminate the contract.
The client is The name that came out of my colleague's mouth was that of a major company in the industry, which our company largely depends on for sales. But we've always had a good relationship with them. A sudden termination of the contract, is that even possible?
Actually, it's not so sudden. Our current CEO, since that laid-back second-generation president took over, our way of doing things has changed quite a bit, hasn't it? It seems that's caused some issues with the client. Well, I hope it's just a rumor about the bankruptcy. You've just been promoted, and your child entered a private school, right?
Yes.
My older brother had his kid in private school, and he said it's been tough. If the company goes under at a time like this, it's going to get really difficult.
The words of my colleague stuck to my chest, turning into anxiety. That night, I got a phone call on my cell from my mother back home. She spoke in a somber tone, saying something unexpected.
Your dad had a stroke.
What?
He's stable now, but he'll need to be in the hospital for a while. He's still unconscious. And you know we're living on Social Security, right? We can't afford the hospital bills. Would you mind covering your dad's hospital cost?
I understand. Reluctantly, I nodded. My mother continued to speak apologetically. She explained that if my father were to have any lingering effects, we may also need to consider the costs of long-term care. Dumbfounded, I hung up the phone and headed straight to the bank. Once I transferred the money for my father's hospital bills, my account was drained. I had just finished paying my daughter's tuition for the semester. Looking at my pitiful account balance, I recalled a conversation with a colleague. Please don't let our company go bankrupt. Unfortunately, my wish did not come true. 2 weeks later, as I arrived at work, I saw a crowd gathered outside the office. When I found the colleague who had shared the rumor, I asked him, "What's going on? Why isn't anyone going inside?" To which he replied, "We're out of business." What?
The company, it says so on that paper.
The colleague pointed to an A4 size white paper taped to the locked office door. On closer inspection, the notice indeed announced the company's bankruptcy, complete with the name of the lawyer handling the case. I stood there in shock. Can this really be happening? So, what do we do now?
Well, I guess we have to negotiate with this lawyer and look for a new job, right?
I remembered the hopeless bank balance I saw 2 weeks ago. The expensive wedding, my daughter Maya's private school tuition, the unknown cost of my parents' medical and care expenses. Everything was becoming dark. How am I going to make ends meet from now on? As I stumbled home with my head full of worries, Alicia asked, "What's wrong?" When she saw me, "Well, the company went bankrupt."
What? Today?
Yeah. I told her about the scene I saw at the office. Upon hearing this, Alicia looked surprised for a moment, but she quickly returned her gaze to the variety show she was watching while folding laundry, and chuckled at the celebrity's comments. Her casual demeanor led me to remark, Hey, do you understand the gravity of the situation? This isn't a laughing matter."
But what can we do? Nothing we say can bring the company back, right?
She said it in such a carefree manner. Well, that's true, but...
So there's no use worrying about it. Besides, you have the day off today, right? Why not take it easy for a bit? You've seemed pretty worn out lately. You must be tired, aren't you?
Well...
Oh, but would you mind coming shopping with me this afternoon? I've been wanting to go to that big supermarket in the next town. But it's far from the station, isn't it? I thought it would be convenient if we could drive there.
Watching my wife smile cheerfully, I felt the tension drain away. Alicia was right. There's nothing I can do at this moment. Maybe I should take a break. I have been feeling tired lately.
Why don't you take off your suit and put down your bag?
Yeah. Alicia took my bag, which I had been clutching since I got home, and helped me take off my jacket.
Don't be so down. It's not your fault. Let's think of today's incident as if a huge storm came yesterday and blew the company away. Okay.
What kind of analogy is that? Looking up at me with a chuckle, Alicia said, "But it's true, isn't it?" "Well, maybe you're right," I replied with a laugh, deciding to change out of my suit for now. That day, Alicia and I had lunch together for the first time in a while, drove to the big supermarket in the next town for some shopping in the afternoon, and welcomed our daughter Mia back from school together. However, we couldn't continue this lifestyle every day. The next day, negotiations with the lawyer appointed by the bankrupt company began. The back and forth had continued for over a month, yet the company's management never made an appearance during that time. As per my attorney, it seemed unlikely that they could even pay my unpaid salary. Though I wasn't keen on it, I had no choice but to contact my mother back at home and explain the situation. My father, who collapsed with a stroke shortly before the company went bankrupt, regained consciousness but was still dealing with the after effects. I had heard that it would be tough for just my mom to take care of my discharged father, and that we would need to hire a caregiver. Given the current circumstances, when I told my mom that I couldn't contribute financially, she murmured in a worried voice, "Is that so?" Eventually, my mom said she would dip into her savings for a while to cover the care costs, leaving me filled with guilt. I know my parents don't have much in savings. I need to do something before their savings run out. Alongside the discussions with my attorney, I was visiting the employment agency and job hunting, but that too wasn't going well. To begin with, there were hardly any job postings with conditions similar to my previous job. No matter how much I drag my feet, the days continue to pass. Household expenses need to be paid, my pensioner parents' living costs are being pressured, and I even need to pay my daughter Maya's second semester elementary school tuition by the summer. The sun grew hotter every day, and summer was approaching in full force. I need to start preparing for Maya's second semester tuition soon. But can I afford to pay a lump sum right now? After much anguish, I finally decided to bring up this idea with Alicia. "Hey, what do you think about moving Mia to a public elementary school from the second semester?"
Huh? What are you talking about? You were the one who was so keen on sending Mia to a private school.
But given the current situation, Alicia, without showing a gloomy face despite the situation, brightly says, "Mia made a new friend recently."
It would be so sad to have her transfer when she's finally enjoying school, don't you think?
Yeah, you're right. Mia has her own life. It's my job to protect that. That night, I couldn't fall asleep as I pondered what I should do. As a result, I overslept the next day and only woke up after 10 in the morning.
Good morning.
Alicia, without any sarcastic comments towards the unemployed me who woke up late, asks me with her usual smile, "Good morning. Do you want fried eggs or scrambled eggs?" I replied, "Fried eggs, I guess," with feelings of gratitude and shame. After breakfast, I headed to the employment agency again. But yet again, there were no promising job postings. I was worn out, and dark thoughts filled my mind as I began to lose confidence as the family's breadwinner. What if I can't find a job at all? Even if I do find one, it would likely have a lower salary and tougher work conditions. I might end up damaging my physical and mental health, causing more hardship for my family. In the end, I might not even have the means to let my daughter continue attending a private elementary school. And then, I even started thinking in this way. Perhaps Alicia would be better off divorcing such a pathetic man and finding a better one. Alicia is kind and beautiful. She could easily find a much better man than me. Once I started thinking along these lines, I couldn't stop myself. Over the next few days, I would walk to and from the local government office after my trips to the employment agency, and after making a hard decision, I finally brought home a divorce paper. I never thought I'd see the day where I would hold a divorce paper. I had never even considered this. Alicia and I had thought about getting married since our college days. We were laughed at for being eager, and since we married earlier than most, we were told, "Don't you want to enjoy your youth a bit more?" However, I never once regretted marrying Alicia. I love her, even now. And of course, I love our daughter Mia too. But that's why I wanted them to be happy. If there's no need for me in their happiness, then I put the divorce paper into my bag and returned home with a somber face. Then, while having dinner, pondering when to bring up the divorce, without saying anything, I finished my meal, took a bath. After Mia went to bed, "I'm sorry, Alicia. Will you divorce me?" I finally said.
What? What did you say?
I said, "Will you divorce me? I'm sorry for being such a pathetic guy. You're not getting enough for living expenses lately, are you? I've been thinking. You're kind and beautiful. Maybe you should leave me and find a better person. I can't even afford to feed us right now, let alone pay for Maya's private schooling. I can't make you two happy like this. That's why we should divorce. It's for the best." With that, I placed the divorce papers in front of Alicia. Alicia stared at them with a blank expression for a moment, then burst into laughter. "What are you talking about?"
What? Divorce? Lure actually brought divorce papers? Stop joking around. How did we get here?
"Because I can't provide for us anymore."
So just because your company went under, we should divorce. I have no intention of divorcing you or marrying anyone else, no matter what happens.
In contrast to her usual laid-back demeanor, she said it with such firmness that it brought tears to my eyes. "But I don't know what to do anymore. I can't pay for Maya's tuition or my father's nursing home fees." Alicia nonchalantly said, "Were you feeling this desperate? You should have told me sooner."
Honey, there's something I want you to see.
She took a bank book out of the drawer and handed it to me. It was a brand new bank book. I accepted it, confused, and opened it. Then, what is this? A large, 5-digit number was written in the balance column of the bank book. Where did this money come from?
I just opened a new account for Maya's school fees. They'll be deducted from this account starting next semester, so you don't have to worry.
Don't have to worry. Why is there so much money? Our savings were almost gone, right?
How? Actually, I've been wanting to tell you this.
Alicia said, looking embarrassed. "I've been running a cooking blog." "A cooking blog?"
Yes, here it is.
Alicia slowly opened her laptop and showed me the screen. A cozy-looking blog was displayed, and there were familiar dishes lined up on the edge of the display.
I started it casually, but it became unexpectedly popular, and now I earn a substantial amount through affiliate marketing.
Affiliate marketing. That's sad revenue, right?
Yes, exactly. You put ads on your blog, and you earn money. If a lot of people visit the blog, it can add up, That's how this happened.
She pointed at the new bank book.
Also, I was too shy to mention this earlier, but I've actually published a few books as well.
Books?
Yes.
Alicia nodded shyly. Alicia, published books.
You know, I've always felt that something wasn't quite right with everything I did. Studying in school, working. I never felt passionate about anything. But when I started the blog, it was fun. I thought I could work hard at it, that I could be serious about it.
So, the books.
Yes.
So, you're a blogger, Alicia?
Yes, that's right.
I was dumbfounded, staring at my wife. Is that so? That's amazing. I had no idea you were doing all this from home. While scrolling through the blog admiringly, Alicia said, "Don't read it now. It's embarrassing." I didn't open the articles because she said so, but every post had lots of comments. Apparently, the blog was really popular. Alicia chuckled.
So don't worry about money. I know your parents are in a tough situation, but now that I have my income, I think we can manage. You just relax and take your time finding a job. It'll all work out eventually. So, let's forget about this.
Alicia crumpled up the divorce papers and threw them in the trash.
Without you, there's no happiness for me or for Mia.
Hearing those words, I finally came back to my senses. That's right. If I think about it rationally, it's absurd to talk about divorce at a time like this. I must have been out of my mind. I managed to choke out an apology. The divorce. I was being so stupid. I must have lost my mind.
Yes, I'm glad you said that.
Alicia gave a relieved smile, then immediately struck a triumphant pose. From now on, don't make any rash decisions, just take your time and go with the flow.
It's okay, don't rush. You'll definitely find a job that you feel confident about. After all, I didn't find blogging until this age, so there's no need to worry.
Her words reminded me of something from a long time ago. Back when Alicia was struggling to get a job offer during our college days. During the times of uncertainty and looming recession, her carefree laughter and the words, "It'll all work out in time, I'm sure," made me feel reassured. More than I expected. Thanks, Alicia. With a feeling of being saved by my unchanging wife, I thanked Alicia, to which she responded with a cheery voice. Yep, enough of the serious talk.
Let's get to bed already. Oh no.
Suddenly, Alicia exclaimed in surprise. What's wrong?
I forgot. Mia was supposed to bring a milk carton to school tomorrow.
Upon opening the fridge, Alicia grabbed the milk carton that was still more than half full and started to pour it generously into her and my cups.
We have to drink it tonight. Wash it and let it dry.
Oh, okay. Alicia and I started chugging the milk, and we both let out a sigh at the same time as we finished drinking. Seeing Alicia with a white milk mustache, I couldn't help but chuckle. That night, I was able to sleep soundly after a long time. From the next day, I was able to look for a new job with a more relaxed approach. Things will work out. Feeling this way lightened my face, even to the point where the job center employee asked me something good happened. And 2 weeks later, I finally came across a job posting that felt right. After submitting my application, both the document screening and interview processes went smoothly. And within a week of applying, I secured a new job at that company. Starting the job, I felt a bit tired in the unfamiliar workplace at first, but with Alicia's support, I was able to get back on track quickly. And as for Alicia, nothing much had changed. Sometimes I found her to be a bit vague, other times she seemed very resolute. She didn't seem to work much at home either. I thought that maybe I was attracted to this kind of flexible strength in Alicia.
Have a good day, dear.
Have a good day, Daddy.
My wife and our daughter, dressed in her private school uniform, saw me off at the front door. I'm off. Make sure you're not late for school, Mia.
Okay.
After waving back at Mia, I headed off to work. To protect this happy scene, I better do my best